This is the Podcast Inc. production. Booyah!
And now, this is the moment podcasting fans listening around the world have been waiting for. Coming to you, not so live from a listening device of your choice. It's time! Podcasting out of this corner, a mixed martial talker, holding no professional record. He stands at 6 feet 1 1/2 inches tall, weighing in at whatever he feels like. Hailing out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, presenting the sometimes angry, always funny, self-proclaimed podcasting champion of the world, Steve Finga Stylz.
So, welcome to another rendition of the podcast. I am here once again, always again, and brought to you by First Row Collectibles. If you're into nerd culture, if you're into sports memorabilia, if you're into wrestling memorabilia, please visit firstrow.ca. Use promo code THEPODCAST20 to receive 20% off. They got a ton of stuff from the wrestling world, signed memorabilia, sports, all the major sporting leagues, comic books, you name it, they got it. Best thing is, they ship worldwide. Even better, they update daily. So please visit them at firstrow.ca. And if you're into video games and books, please visit bossfightbooks.com for great books on classic video games. You'll find titles like NBA Jam, Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy VI, and so many others. Everything you see on their website's available in paperback and ebook format. So please check them out at bossfightbooks.com. And if you want to support me directly, you can visit my merchandise store at tpublic.com or scroll down on today's device. It's embedded right there in the description. Click on that link. It takes you right to the merchandise store. I got everything from hoodies to t-shirts, travel mugs, anything you need or want, it is there. But the easiest thing, the best thing, the freest thing to do to support the show is rate, subscribe, review on all major platforms, most specifically Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So this week's guest is a fellow pork chop whom you may have seen on the socials, constantly putting out funny memes, videos, and music parodies under the Comedy Portuguese account. Live in studio, Bane Fate.
Thank you for having me, man. What an intro, man. Everyone needs to go visit your sponsors now, because that was, nailed it. That's
one take, see?
Top
Please.
Notch. One take, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm right here.
Tell them.
One take. That was some impressive. It's like wrestling promo ability right here, man.
You see, because I don't do a live.
Pure baby face, man, right there. So.
And we're going to get into wrestling talk because you're a big wrestling fan, obviously.
Absolutely.
We also are Portuguese, like I said, another fellow pork chop here live in studio. This is fantastic. I don't think I've ever, other than my cousin, I've had Braden Harrington. He does post wrestling.
Yeah.
He's been on the show. He's half Portuguese. So,
nice.
Okay. So I have had another Portuguese guy before you live in studio.
Nice.
So.
Well, you know what? We're not that far apart. I'm like, no, man, quality. I want to get some quality aqui nesta casa, so.
I know, right? And yes, we will be dropping a lot of Portuguese phrases, so please take out your Google translators if you're not Portuguese and you're listening.
Feel free to bitch about our pronuncias, you know.
Because we are going to have a lot of different, pronuncias, because I'm mainland.
And my dad's from San Miguel, my mom's from Santa Maria, so, you know, and Portuguese would be technically my second language growing up in Canada, speaking English, but, you know, my pronuncia is the way it is, because I got a little bit of two different islands, which are only 20 minutes or so from each other.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but they speak completely different Portuguese, so.
Okay, so were you born and raised in Canada then?
Yeah, born and raised in Cambridge, Ontario. So, again, not too far from here.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Parents spoke Portuguese with me a lot of times. And when I say English is my first language, well, because, I had to pick it up real quick in grade 4 when they dropped me off in kindergarten and all the other kids were speaking a language I'm not used to, right? Because my parents just primarily spoke Portuguese with me in the early years there. But, so Portuguese Canadian trying to represent. And,
It's so funny that you say that because the same thing with me. I was born and raised here, but I didn't speak a lick of English until I went to elementary school.
Yeah,
and then I had to pick it up literally within like a month or two, or else you're totally fucked.
But you're thankful you speak 2 languages now. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I speak 3. I don't want to toot my own horn. I also speak Spanish. So.
Oh, you got one up on me.
But it's easy, though.
It is, because, you know what? I was
being Portuguese.
I was in Spain back in 2006. Me, my cousin, and my buddy. We just did the whole Euro trip thing. And
nice.
When I was in Spain, I stayed at a friend's house in Malaga, and then sorry, not Malaga, Gibraltar. I landed in Malaga and had to make my ass over to Gibraltar. But yeah, I stayed with her for a week, and I got by perfectly fine. It's just my Portuguese.
Oh, sure.
Trying to add a lot of extra O's on the end, on the end of certain words.
And Z's.
And you know, they, in my opinion, like they talk a lot faster than we do. So
That's
even
true.
just trying to find an internet cafe so I can check my emails, I'd be like,
Oh,
disculpo, signore, sabe, yo no le fico la cafe interneto. But he knew what I was asking. He got me there.
Hilarious.
He got me there. I had to ask him to repeat himself 3 times because he was talking so fast. I'm like, like Adam Sandler from Billy Madison, like, slow down.
Oh my God, that's too funny. That's so hilarious. Okay, so like I mentioned off the top, the Comedy Portuguese account.
Yeah.
When did this start? When did you decide to do this? What's going on?
It's easy for me to pinpoint it because I started it a month after my second son was born. He's 8, so it started 8 years ago, so 2015.
Okay.
And you know what? It was just one of those things where, you know, I'm on Instagram one day, and at this point, I'm a huge fan and follower of the Portuguese Kids. Had been watching their stuff since they were out of the gutter comedy. So you know, and I know who Mike Rita is now, and Mike Rita's killing it on the stand-up comedy side.
Right.
And then I'm on Instagram, and I mean, credit where credit's due. I'm going, and I find this account called Must Be Portuguese. And the guy that runs that, his name's Elder, shout out. Must Be Portuguese on Instagram. Super nice guy. But anyways, he's doing like these Pingu voiceover videos, like talking over that old Pingu cartoon that no one never understood because they weren't speaking the goddamn language to begin with.
That's true, right?
But he would just be talking like just talking over and saying like the most stereotypical like Portuguese shit, right? And I thought, oh my God, that's hilarious, right? And then at some point he kind of transitioned to that, to just having conversations with himself and this character persona that he made. I guess if we're talking wrestling terminology, created the gimmick of Manel. So he's there on the passenger seat and then in the driver's seat, just having a conversation with himself and this other character, Manel. And, it's the funniest shit. And I saw that he was taken off from that, and he started focusing more on that. But I'm like, oh man, but that voiceover thing, like, there's something there, man. Like that shit's gold. And I used to do it all the time as a kid, just watching Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers, and like, oh, commercials are on, mute this, and then, you know, like some random commercial would come on, and I'm like, I'm dubbing over the like, hey, I'm a big idiot holding a big box of blah blah blah, and so you know, I'm like, no, there's something here. So I just first video I posted wasn't anything special. It was just I just finished watching Wolf of Wall Street as well. Okay. And it was the wedding scene where DiCaprio's dancing like very comically.
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, you know what would be funny? I'm just watching it in my head. I'm like, man, if that song by Carmen Silva was playing over this right now, like, "O amor é bichinho." And I did it, and I threw it on. That was my very first video. And, you know, and then it was a combination of doing stuff like that and then just like picking the random video and doing the voiceover thing.
Right.
And at the time, so 2015, like the organic growth on Instagram was insane. And I didn't realize that. I'm doing this for the sake of like, you know, I'm a big fan of Portuguese comedy, Portuguese kids, like I said, and basically like, hey, it was just one of those things like, hey, if they can do it, like what's stopping me from doing it? Like,
right.
And I'm not going to lie, a little bit of that was I just had my second son. Male postpartum is a real thing. I think that was part of it. I was just kind of like, you know, obviously ecstatic that I got my boy, but that is a thing, and women obviously go through it, but I think men do too. And there was just like a lull period there where I was just kind of like, oh man, I need something to primarily, like if it'll entertain me, hopefully it entertains other people, right? So
of course,
I think I kind of got off track there, but yeah. So just going back to the organic growth, in 2015, like it was insane on Instagram, similar to what I see like on TikTok now. Like you post one video that just kind of takes off, and then boom, like all the followers just kind of happen. And I think I can't really pinpoint which video did it or when. But it was only like a few months after, like it just started taking off. I never expected it to, but that was kind of how it all got started.
And then obviously with all the fame and fortune and glamour that comes with being a famous Instagram.
But here's the thing. Like, I don't even look at it like that. Like at the end of the day, like I'm just a Portuguese guy putting stuff on the internet to make other people laugh, because I've always just kind of been that way since a kid. Like always cracking a joke or or trying to make people laugh. And it just kind of, I'd never expected it for that part of it to happen. It just kind of came with the territory unexpectedly. So
yeah, and like I was gonna say too, with that territory comes all the haters.
Yeah, absolutely. With the fame comes you get your fans, but you get the haters all the time. It's an unfortunate part of trying to bring positivity in people's lives. Is the negative people that come into that aspect. So,
and unfortunately, the Portuguese culture has a lot and very hard haters.
Yeah, and it's not even like these new generation, this younger generation, they're so offensive and this and that. You know what? More on Instagram, I see like younger kids not understanding the joke and just not thinking before they speak and just commenting something stupid. But on Facebook, it's like you gotta completely flip the script, because it's an older demographic. So then I see like older Portuguese people commenting, you know, é nice, or
those are the best.
Or like, no tens vergonha na tua cara, stuff like that. But like even David from How to Cook Stuff, who you've had on your show before, like. Shout out How to Cook Stuff. He gets it all the time too, and he's grown super. Like what he does has taken off too. So like he gets it all the time too, and it just, you know what, it comes with the territory. Like, but I'd say it's like a 90-10 kind of thing. Like 90% of what I do, like there are like those positive feedback and response and people enjoying it, and then you got like that 10% that just for whatever reason. Just get offended, but at the end of the day, I'm not catering to that 10%.
Well, and that's what they don't understand.
So, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, and again, this probably works on a 90-10 split as well. Like 90% of the time, I'll just block the person, carry on with my life, because I got 3 boys of my own. I don't need to be changing anyone else's diapers or because it's like I'm not here to parent you. You either like it or you don't. If you don't like it, like. Don't let the door hit you in the coo on the way out, right?
No, it's so true. And these are the people I don't understand, because if you like a certain thing, go follow that account.
Yeah.
Because there's an account for everyone.
Dude, the amount of energy it takes to be that negative, like, you know what? It's not what I'm all about. And then it's like, it's not like, he's a pussy. He blocked me. No, like because I don't need that negative energy on what I'm trying to do.
Thank you.
And then I don't need the post turning into something that it's not because of your stupid ass comment. So, yeah. So people like it, great. Nah, fuck off. I don't care.
So what's been your post how you've had the most negativity thrown at?
Oh, negative or positive?
Negative.
That's a good question.
Right, because I'm sure there's something you posted where it just tickled.
I posted something. You know what? It hasn't never been that bad to that extent. Okay. Sorry. So I posted one where it looked like a girl was giving a guy a blowjob, so you just see the top of her head, right?
Okay.
I posted it on Instagram, and because they were like on top of a mountaintop,
right?
I'm like, the view from up here and peak has never been better, right?
Okay. Yeah.
On Instagram, people are laughing.
Sure.
But on Facebook,
the
older poll, isto é chique, isto não é nice, tu não tens vergonha, isto não são coisas que metem no Facebook. Like the same post. People loving it on Instagram, hating it on Facebook, right? So you again, different demographics. I get it, but that's that's what comes to mind when you just asked me that. So.
No, but that's great. Again, even like stuff like that, it's like if you hate it, it just shows that they're watching stuff like that. Because if you know what that is, to comment right away negative,
that's just it. Like
you're into it.
Even if you don't follow me and someone sends you like I've seen that. Like I've seen people take someone and that person that got taken says something outlandish, and then I click on their profile and like, they just hate. No, they don't even follow me, so they're just if you're not even following me, like, why? Okay, they sent you something. I get stuff sent daily from. I'm like, that's not funny, or that's okay. I don't agree, but you know what? Like, move on.
So true. It is.
It's like, no, I'm going to go out of my way to show everyone how negative of a prick I am, or prickette, or whatever the word is.
Whatever they want to.
I don't get it. I don't get the.
Me neither.
I don't get like. Like you got, and that's just it. Like if they're going through some horrible shit, and then everything is like just horrible in their lives, and it's just nothing but negative, negative, negative. I get that. That's your outlet to be negative to the world. But you know what? That's not like everyone's going through shit. That's partially why I enjoy doing this.
Right.
Everyone's got their own shit.
Thank you.
Everyone's got their own problems.
Yeah.
If something stupid that I posted makes you laugh, or if you just look at it and think, "Hey, that's stupid," like no, that's not funny at all. Like what? Like I'm not. If it made you laugh, that's all I care about, because that's all. If it made me laugh in my head, I'm like, oh, how can I translate that to it? You know, usually, yeah, I'm guessing you could say sometimes it's dark if you want to go that route. But no, if it's just my sense of humor. If I find it funny, I'm going to put it out there, and if people don't, if you find it funny, great. If not, then it's not. I mean, two people again, same, like just going back to the thing, like two different audiences, same exact meme.
Yeah.
Just it goes back to the whole two people can look at one thing, the same thing, and see something completely different.
That's true.
So you can't
please everyone. That's what they say.
Yeah,
Right?
you can't. At the end of the day, you can just do your best. Take it day by day. Y sin pa frente.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, speaking of being pleased, what's your favorite post that you've ever done?
Oh,
not what for whatever terms.
Okay, so recently I like to do a Throwback Thursday because I have enough content now that I can just go back and
smart. Why not?
People will just ask me like, "Hey, man, do you still have that one video? I remember seeing it years ago." And I remember all my stuff, so it's like, yeah. I'll post it for. Don't worry, I'll post it for Throwback and whatever. But I recently kind of went back and I posted on my Instagram. I think I got them pinned at the top.
Okay.
My personal favorite would probably be that quick little Portuguese Lion King I did.
I was just going to bring that
where
up
they're standing on top of the
that
thing.
one's awesome.
And in the actual movie, he's like, everything the light touches is our kingdom. And I just basically said, tudo que a luz está a tocar, meu filho, é São Miguel. And then, Simba goes, well, what about that dark area over there? And I'm like, no, aquilo é hot peixe, nunca se vai para ali. And the only reason I made a hot paste joke was at the time that I did the meme, like Mike Rita was doing them on stage. He's like, just cutting up hot paste for the sake of cutting up hot paste. Yeah,
because that's what you do as a Portuguese person.
No ill will whatsoever. But that one I remember, like, just at the time, people loving that one. And
that's
even on the repost from a few weeks ago where I did repost it as a throwback and pinned it, like it's been doing well. The throwbacks are actually bringing in a lot of newer followers too, like going back to the old classic ones. So that's
and that's what I was going to ask you too. Looking back at your old content, are you still content with it, or are you like
if you go back to the first few months when I wasn't trying, then it's like some of it's cringe, but
that's a bit different.
But you know why? It's part of the growth.
And
it's not like this is shit. I better take this down. No, it shows the progress. That's how I started, and this is where I am now. And I mean. For those that don't know, like I'm a graphic designer. That's my day job. What comedy Portuguese? So I take shit from something that's not even my day job. But so it's just something I do for fun. But my day job, I am a graphic designer. I own my own business. I do signs, banners, all that stuff, and I've been doing that for over 20 years. So because comedy Portuguese was just something I was doing out of just doing it.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, if I start putting some effort into this, because actually promote it like a brand, fake it till you make it sort of thing.
Exactly.
So I started throwing my logo in every corner because, if you see the McDonald's logo, you've seen it so many times, you just know it's McDonald's. So without being a brand marketing guy or having any knowledge in that aspect, I was just kind of like, you know what, if people see my logo all the time, eventually they'll just know. And I get people stopping me in public and they don't even say, hey, Ben Fate. They just say, CP.
That's awesome.
CP. And the funny story about that is I didn't start as comedy Portuguese. The first few weeks, it was Portuguese comedy.
Oh, the other way.
Nobody had the account.
Oh.
Nobody had it, right? So I started doing it, and then before even the Portuguese kids knew about it, I just realized like their website was Portuguese comedy, or one of their. It was like you click on that and it takes you to the Portuguese kids. So you know what? It was a combination of I don't want to kind of intrude on what they're doing, and I don't want any confusion.
Good point.
But then I'm like, what do I do now though? So I just flipped it to comedy Portuguese. Yeah. And it actually worked out because flipping the C and the P, if you look at my logo now, which you'll probably, I'm wearing my hat, so you're looking at it right, it's in your face at all times. If the C and the P actually make it look like oblique.
Yeah, exactly.
Subliminal oblique right there. Yeah. So anyways.
Love it.
Yeah, so I just going back to the graphic design, I just kind of like said, no, like, you know how to present something and make it eye-catching. So what can I do here? So started adding my logo in the corner of every video.
Nice.
Then I noticed like people were just sharing my stuff on on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Because I started the Instagram first, and then
Right.
I was seeing it on Facebook everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Like friends that.
Oh, shit. Okay.
People on my Portuguese people on my
Yeah.
friends list sharing it with their family members, and at this point, not even knowing I'm the guy doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like I announced like, "Hey, everyone."
That's funny.
So everyone's sharing I'm seeing the growth on Facebook just by sharing the Instagram. So I'm like, okay,
That's awesome.
I need to make a Facebook page.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though I started on Instagram first, like I have double the following on Facebook today, just because
Wow.
you have that younger audience and you have that older audience.
The older, yeah.
But once I started joining more social medias, then I just started adding that in the corner, and I made sure everything had the same name, Comedy Portuguese, no like underscore or hyphen. Like,
Right, that's important.
because Comedy Portuguese is on. I mean, I got the Twitter page too, but I have it just for the sake of having it, right?
Right.
I just include that in the bottom too, very small, but it's a watermark because the amount of times I had a guy on TikTok stealing all my stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and he started actually going
And making it his own.
Yeah, removing my
Not even like reposting and
no credit,
oh
no
my
nothing,
God.
removing my watermark. Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's horrible. I hate when people do that.
Yeah, but
That's fucked.
When you're an unoriginal piece of crap, I get it.
Well, it happens.
But I guess, and then I noticed, he was actually putting people's albums like he was. Yeah, Portuguese Laughter it doesn't exist anymore because he was like having a website. He had a website. He was putting like full albums of Jorge Freire, and then my buddy Joey Madeiros like for people to download. So I told Joey about it, and I guess it got reported enough times that the account was taken down.
Oh my God!
But yeah, that was something for a while. It was like this guy's just flat out stealing all my shit. Awesome. Before crazy. I was even like really on TikTok. So that's actually how I got on TikTok. I'm like, fuck. Now I got one more thing. I got to babysit here, and see like what's going on. I didn't want to go on TikTok. Like
I still haven't made the jump to TikTok. I don't think I'll ever make the jump.
It's too much. Like I just got the threads, but it's like fuck, man. Like I know my primary audience is Instagram and Facebook, and that's what I try and post something every day. Some days you get busy, and that's the other key too. Just the consistency.
It is.
So.
It's very important. It's very well. The other ones I love too are anything with Homer in Portuguese. Yeah. Those are classics.
Yeah,
like, come
again,
on. That shit is hilarious.
I was just doing stuff in the beginning that I enjoyed myself. Like I'm a big Simpsons fan, and then Forrest Gump's my favorite movie of all time. And then
that one's a good one too.
So I started doing the Portuguese Gumps and just stuff that I liked. And then the other big. Going back to what's my favorite video, I said Lion King, but coming in a close second is my Portuguese Gladiator one.
Oh shit! I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah, so
the movie,
the whole scene where he's like
kicks him in the chest.
That's
300.
That's
Sorry,
300.
Getting confused here.
No, the scene where he's like, you will remove your helmet and tell me your name, and then he takes off the Russell Crowe iconic scene.
Right.
Takes off his helmet, turns around. He's like, my name is Maximus Decimus, and he goes on this whole speech. Right, epic movie moment. So in my thing, like it's the Portuguese king. It's like, and I had to change I'm doing both voices here, so I'm like, "Sou rei do Portugal. Tu vais tirar o teu maldito capacete agora." Like it's a whole thing, right? And he takes off his helmet, shows his face, and it's the longest Portuguese name you've ever heard. So my cousin, that's his favorite one. So he's like, I'm like, yeah, like my family, like in my inner family, yeah, like they love that one. So, but I was again just doing voiceovers of movies or shows or stuff that I enjoy. So.
How about non-Portuguese stuff? You ever dabble in that or think of doing?
If I had more time, yeah. Like no, I do music in my spare time when it's very like I guess you can't even say it's non-Portuguese because I do Portuguese parodies, but like non-Portuguese stuff I've thought about doing the jump for stand-up because like I've hosted my shows, and on my last show I actually did some stand-up and performed my song parodies in person.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's not, I wouldn't say it's non-Portuguese because it was in a Portuguese environment, but if I'm looking at it from non-Portuguese, then just like regular stand-up. But part of that's like obviously nerves and just time because I'm married. I got 3 boys, young boys.
Crazy.
I got my own business I have to take care of. It's a lot. So, yeah, but no, that stand up, hope bucket list kind of thing, right? Maybe do a few open mics, see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Botello, who's another Portuguese comedian. Shout out Joe Botello. He's always like, "Yeah, man, just come out to open mic," and he's constantly saying it. It's one of those things. It's time. It's the I'm not going to say motivation, the courage, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
it's one thing to be posting stuff behind the phone all the time, and still getting the hate for it, but
When you're
how would I
actually
handle a heckler? I don't have that quick wit that Mike Rita has, right?
I see your point.
You know what I mean? It's one thing to just go up there and be like, yeah, I've got so much Portuguese jokes. It killed, but what do you do in the unexpected situation? How do you handle it? That comes with doing open mics and getting the experiences, right?
You gotta do the reps, as they say.
Yeah, that's the thing with Mike. That quick wit of his. If someone does give him shit, like he'll just say something Portuguese off the cuff, and boom, like just have the whole room laughing. This person's embarrassed. He learned a hard lesson that day, or she learned a hard lesson that day. So
yeah, no, exactly. Well, and one last one I want to touch on too, because again, I'm a huge video game fan. Metal Gear Balika, come on.
Oh yeah, so that was that was actually must be Portuguese idea. I did that one with him, right?
Okay.
That was his idea. He's a huge Metal Gear Solid fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so am I. So we were talking about that, and like, oh yeah, man, and we're still waiting for the show or movie to be made with Oscar Isaacs, apparently.
Yeah,
but,
I know, right?
We were laughing about that one day, and he did. Yeah, he mapped it all out. But he's not like he's not like, I'm gonna edit this video and so that's where I came in, right?
Yeah,
he his whole idea, full credit to him, and then he mapped it all out. He did the Colonel's voice and I did Snake's voice, and it was just a quick little thing, and loved it. That was a fun little that was fun, that one, for sure.
So now, where did your love of video games come from? Were you always a gamer as a child, or
so
was this later?
My uncle had an Atari 2600.
Oh, so we're going back. Okay, good.
We're going way back.
Good.
Man.
I grew up on the Coleco, so no worries.
Nice. So my uncle had the Atari 2600, and when we'd go visit my grandparents, he'd be downstairs playing some 2600. So I was maybe like 4, like early.
Yeah.
I'm like, sweet.
That was my age, yeah.
And then for my 6th birthday, now granted, by my 6th birthday, the NES was already out.
Yeah.
It was already a thing.
When I was 6, it just came out.
Yeah. Okay. So it was already a thing, but for my 6th birthday, I got I remember we had my birthday at McDonald's, and I got I got my own Atari. Right. It was the Atari Junior. It was the smaller version.
Okay, yes, and like the little
and then by that point, my uncle already had his Nintendo.
Oh shit!
So my uncle came over one day with a box full
of his old Atari.
He just gave me this game.
Well, exactly. He doesn't need them now.
Yeah.
And back then you couldn't trade games.
You can't imagine. So that's what started it, because it was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
The whole library.
And even with the shit graphics, I'm just like, what is this? What am I experiencing right now, man? And then the leap from Atari to Nintendo, like, holy shit, like. Yeah, so that's I've just again, it started at a young age like that, and like I was like, my parents both factory workers, so it was just kind of like one of those things where, if I'm good, they'll buy me a game, or my dad will rent me a game this weekend, and that just kind of like, and they had no problems with that. So I grew up a gamer, and beating those Contras and difficult NES games that kids today probably would be like, this is shit. Oh yeah, I beat it. Yeah, I bet you they have a very difficult time with some of them. The swimming scene in the first Ninja Turtles game, don't even get me started on that. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what?
Electric weeds. Come on, man.
I bought the fucking Cowabunga collection. And shout out to Mike Micah and the Digital Eclipse team. I've had Mike on the show. Nice. And we were talking about, and I told them, I'm like, the main reason why I bought this is just so I could have the rewind feature, so I could clear that fucking level once and for all.
So, funny. So to go back on how busy I am in my own personal life, I have that game.
Okay.
It's still in its original wrap.
Oh shit!
But I did play Shredder's Revenge with my oldest.
Love
amazing game.
And do you know
did that take me back?
Do you know the composer's Portuguese?
No way.
T. Lopes, and he's been on the show. Go check out that episode.
I'm definitely 100%.
See, all this Portuguese.
I'm going to pop that one out on my way home for sure. But yeah, no. What was I going back to? Oh yeah, so Shredder's Revenge, amazing game, and
it is.
I love newer games with that old style. So
Streets of Rage 4 is another one.
Cyber Shadow.
I've heard of it. I haven't played
it yet. Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight I love.
Love Shovel Knight. So
Shovel Knight was awesome.
Newer games with the old 8 60, love them. I can play I prefer keeping an eye out like for news and information about those style games than I do with like even like new Metal Gear's coming out. Like I love Metal Gear, right, and Uncharted and games like that, right. But yeah, just something about that 8-bit, 16-bit nostalgia, right?
Me, it's more the 16-bit.
And I love the fact that I grew up like. I guess you could say evolved, but I grew as video games evolved. I saw the progression of how it started. I think
that's why our generation.
Yeah, like I have like my kids. Okay, Switch, boom. They
They don't know.
They don't
the shit
know
we had to go through.
No dia. Era só uma caquinha maldita da TV.
E dois botões. Você podia puxar. E é só.
Gajo tocava num botão e nada. O que é que está acontecendo aqui? É um cachorro na TV? Isto é o Pac-Man ou o cachorro man? I não sei. Right? They got no idea.
It's so true. Blowing into cartridges too. Fuck. The struggles we used to have.
Which you were never supposed to do. On the back of every cartridge it says do not like something
because
about
the spit
something about liquid. Yeah,
the moisture going in. So it actually probably made it worse.
Oh, 100% corroded the pins.
Jeez,
and we'd be losing our shit with our Portuguese tempers. And then your dad yelling upstairs, "Tá okay?"
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's okay,
I know, right?
So yeah, I don't know if it was it was a combination of gamer rage and Portuguese temper. Not a good combo for sure.
No kidding, right? So going back, what do you think is the game you played the most as a child, or sunk the most hours into?
So now, the OG Tetris on.
Oh, that's a good show.
So
which one on Nintendo, or Game Boy?
Nintendo,
because Game Boy was a killer one too.
Well aware, and I since becoming, I've gone down the Tetris rabbit hole.
Okay,
and man,
like, Tetris 99.
No, not even like I'm talking old school. There are still young kids today,
right?
Competitively playing
really
Nintendo Tetris. It's a whole
That's
scene.
Awesome.
They have Nintendo.
I don't know this.
They have the Nintendo CTWC Classic Tetris World Championships.
Oh shit!
Every year at the Portland Retro Gaming thing. Every year in October is like the world champion.
That's cool.
And it's gone from the older demographic,
right?
Guys like us that used to play when we were younger.
Yeah.
And these new kids have discovered a way to play. I don't want to. I could go on forever about this, so I'm trying to condense. They basically discovered a whole new way to play where they just roll their fingers on the back of the controller, and the back of the controller is like basically in that, and just hover their thumb over the D-pad. So by doing that, the back of the controller becomes one giant button, and when you hit level 29 on Tetris, it's known as the kill screen because the pieces fall so goddamn fast.
You can't.
You die. You're done.
Virtually impossible.
With the new rolling technique, they're playing beyond. It's basically become a marathon.
Because it's like 1-to-1 now instead of being that little lag.
Yeah,
right?
and there was always a one-player game, but now they play like they put the same card in. They run some sequence where both players are getting the same pieces, so it's fair.
Oh, that's actually cool.
And man, you should see like some of the. It's insane. Like I don't like so that kind of got me back into it. So like in my spare time, if I do play, or have time to play a video game, I honestly I'm playing old school Tetris, just trying to get my. Sure. I'm never gonna play like these kids, my God. But I now have an appreciation and like because it's the most simplest game ever. You can pop that game in.
Perfect game, they say.
Exactly. You can pop that game in. You don't need instructions on how to play. You just automatically know, oh, I got to fit these pieces together.
Right.
But once you figure out the strategy behind it and the tucks and the spins and like, okay, obviously
paying attention to what comes next and playing ahead.
And then playing fast. There's a whole
playing fast.
I have a whole other level of appreciation for it. So what game do I play the most? Definitely that one. If you're asking me like what my favorite game is of all time, like which console, right? Like I have to almost.
Those are hard.
I almost have.
Well, that's why I said the game you played the most because I think the game I played the most is not my favorite.
So now it's Tetris. As a kid, that's a good one because like
I think Mario 3 would probably be up there for me as a kid.
That one it would be up there for me.
Mega Man 2.
For me, one game I played and I always had to borrow it from my cousin because he had it and I did. It was Little Nemo Dream Master.
Oh shit! I didn't even
on the NES.
Fuck.
Amazing. Amazing. That one I played a lot just because it's that one. Kirby's Adventure. Loved Kirby's Adventure.
I was never a Kirby guy.
Just fun, right? You suck guys up, steal their powers, carry on. Played those two a lot. Obviously, the Ninja Turtles fighting games.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles.
Double Dragon games. I wouldn't say I spent like it was so much games at the time. I wouldn't say I spent more time on one than another. Like we got a lot of games coming our way, and then to live through the 16-bit era, my God.
I think that, for me, looking back, is probably the best era.
Oh,
right? It's got to be.
Absolutely.
Because they're still replayable. Yeah, they're hard as fuck, but at least you can still play them.
No, and you had both companies like, okay, we got
That's
we got to bring out our A game, and that was
because the Master System, I think, sucked. Genesis upped its game.
Double Dragon on the Master System
was good,
way better than the NES version. There's certain games. So on NES, it was Hudson's Adventure Island.
Right.
On Sega, it was Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy, that's right. That one was better. You're
way
right.
better. Certain games.
Actually, you're right.
Obviously, NES was more successful, larger library, but the Master, it has its games. So, for sure.
But even now, like playing the old school like stuff on the Switch and shit.
Yeah.
When I go to the most is like the Super NES and now the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, the Mario ones are all you can any Mario game, especially Mario 3 and Mario World. I still like 2, even though 2 is a different mechanic.
That's why, because it stands out.
Yeah, it honestly shocks me Nintendo hasn't put out another Mario 2 style game where you're picking up the vegetables because the mechanics are completely different. And I don't know if you know the story about that. Mario 2, so it was it was a much harder game, and it looked exactly like Mario 1. And then when they were going to release it here, America was like, whoa, like, because Japanese gamers were at the time way more advanced than us in that regard. So they were like, no, we can't release this. Are you crazy? We need something new, fresh. Mm-hmm. And they were so like out of time. They just took a Japanese game and turned it into a Mario 2 game. So that's why
it was supposed to be the Lost Levels game, but it was too hard.
Exactly. Super Mario: The Lost Levels on the Super Nintendo. For those that don't know, is the Japanese Super Mario 2 that we should have got. But all that aside, like there's people that hate Mario 2 because of how different it is. I liked how different it was. I loved it. The music was great. It was the same people that made the Mario games.
That's true.
It just honestly shocks me Nintendo never went back to make another Mario game in that style, because it's not like the original game owners of the other game own that. Like Nintendo owns that style. They just own the characters from the from that game that was released in Japan. So yeah, because I mean Mario 2, man, like pick up stuff and toss it, like
and pick
or if they can, like imagine throwing a giant vegetable at Bowser or something, right? Instead of just the usual jump on his head or grab him by the like that shocks me. I think that's a lost avenue there that they could.
Well, they're re-releasing Super Mario RPG, which is one of my favorite games.
Yeah, and the whole reason that took so long was because like Square, I think it was SquareSoft or Square Enix made them, and then they jumped ship to PlayStation. So I was never. It's funny because I was never a big RPG guy as a kid.
Me neither. But Zelda on Super NES brought me into
Shenmue on the Dreamcast.
Oh, so you were much later than me.
Way later, yeah. I mean, I did enjoy Phantasy Star 4 on Genesis.
Never got into it,
but it goes back to like good music. If a game has good music and that pulls me in, sometimes I'll give it a chance. I'll be like, okay. I judged too quickly here. This game's dope. So yeah.
But you have to sink time into those RPGs.
Oh, absolutely. And as a kid, I'm just like, no, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like
too controlling, too much to do. But as you gotten older, I think you appreciate it.
I gotta read. I'm fucking half Portuguese here, man. I can't read this shit.
Oh my god, that's too funny. That's hilarious. So you're playing Tetris now. How about online gaming? Did you ever get into online gaming?
Yeah, back when I had I used to play. Me and my buddy Eric used to play on PC online gaming. I guess you could say console. Yeah, here and there, like Super Smash Brothers for sure.
Oh, okay.
But that's
I never got into. But
Super Smash Brothers, and it's not the same as being in the same room as the person talking shit.
Okay.
It's one thing you can't talk shit over a headphone and get that.
Well, you can, but you get away with it.
You smash a guy and he goes off the edge, and you're in. He's like, oh, like me and my cousin, horrible for that. We'll get he'll get borderline offensive. Oh, of course you won. You picked Kirby, the most basic character.
Oh shit,
he's so cheap. I'm like, oh yeah. Like, why don't you go poo in your diapers, baby? Like, we'll get like right in each other's face with the insults, and at the end of the day, we're laughing as we're saying it because we know we're just making it feel so much worse that you just got beat or something. Right?
See, and maybe that's why I never really got into online gaming, because I grew up on couch.
Yeah, I grew up playing with people,
so either playing with them or against them.
So like like the occasional like Rocket League. Sometimes I'll play
See, I tried, even though it's a great game.
It is not the same. PC's a different thing because you kind of have to do it online.
I guess,
unless you had like a LAN party, which let me unhook this giant box and walk down the street looking weird. But like Unreal Tournament, Quake 3, a lot of first person shooters. Right. I'd play online, and then That's basically
And now
it.
you got all the battle royales that are happening that all the kids are into. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, that I don't.
so
My
many,
kids love Minecraft, but I get it. It's their like Lego growing up for us. It's just in the 3D environment.
That
right?
makes a lot of
It's
sense.
like how awesome is Lego? You can build anything. I have nothing against it because you know what? They're learning how to use their imagination. They're constantly building stuff. My oldest
open sandbox.
Yeah, oh yeah, they and they're learning about we got a goddamn axolotl at home because of Minecraft. You're probably looking at me like, what's an axolotl? It's this creature that was in the game that I thought was just a Minecraft thing.
Okay.
Then my one son's like, oh, let's go. Can we get a goldfish? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's get a goldfish. You got to take care of it though, because I got enough shit to do.
Yeah.
I didn't say that obviously, but so we go to the store for the goldfish and. Shit you not, there's a tank with these axolotl creatures. It's like an underwater lizard salamander.
Okay.
So they're very cool looking, but I thought this, first of all, I didn't even think this thing was real. And then I'm seeing this in person. I'm like, see that? It's real. And I'm like, oh, so it is. I'm like, but I'm sure it's like, salt water, because we're like at something really like bougie.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like
you gotta take care of it more.
Yeah,
than
it's salt water, this and that. And then the store owner's right there. He's like, oh no, cold water. And I'm looking at him like, dude,
let's get it.
Like, read the room, man. Like, I didn't want to get this thing, but I did, and the kids love it. And
okay,
so
but they help though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's all that.
But like, they're learning stuff. Like, they're learning stuff from. It's a game that actually you could just be like, oh, it's mindless. You just there doing stupid shit. No, I get the appeal, and it's the reason it's actually the #1 selling game of all time.
I know, right?
And now I get it. It's not my thing per se.
And not only that, like, look how long. Like, it's been going on now. When did it drop? Like, the original?
2010? I could be wrong.
It's over 10 years for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But, like, I get it. Like, I have an appreciation for it because it's something I can do with my kids and something they enjoy. And it's a video game.
Okay.
And because it's funny because they just kind of got on the Switch now with Minecraft and Fortnite. But before, because like the only copy of Minecraft I had was on the PC, they were playing it on PC. So like they would ask me, oh, like I saw this mod in the YouTube video, and I'm a computer guy, so I'm like, yeah, I can do that mod. I taught myself how to do it just if it meant, and then so the kids love it. It's something that we do together.
Oh, that's awesome.
And still do, and they know all their rocks. For geology, because
that's a good point.
because
you have to mine for everything.
Yeah, there's a rock called obsidian, and you learn too. It's cool. You're constantly
Hey, half the shit I learned wasn't because of my parents. It was because of fucking video games and professional wrestling.
Even for me in graphic design and music production, I'd say it's like 70-30 self-taught, man. Anything you want to excel at, it's going to be self-taught.
So how were your parents with video games? Was it the fucking...
Oh, no. The odd time my dad would play a soccer game with me, but no.
Oh, so he would still play with you at least?
If I asked him.
Holy fuck.
But he'd be like... Steve, pai não sabe o que eu estou fazendo aqui. He wouldn't know, but like we would play.
He tried. That's
he
awesome.
Absolutely always made the effort.
My parents thought it was the devil.
Goal on the NES was not my dad. My dad would. My dad worked factory all week. Had his weekends, and we'd either go. There's a place in Cambridge called Video Hut. We'd always go to Video Hut. At the back of Video, so the front was like a video store,
right? And
then the back had like a bar. It was Portuguese owned. So
shut up,
yeah, man.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's the bar part's still there.
I thought you were gonna say it was like where the 18 plus section was.
No. Curtain. Yeah, those are like the Western doors. Yeah. My dad caught me in there once. Like, that's was in the key. Jokes off, Fred.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
But he would just leave. He would give me some money and be like, pick out a game. So I would rent. That's where it goes back to like he would have no problem like rent an NES game or rent. And then I went from NES to Sega. No, my dad encouraged it, man.
No, my mom was so bad that she would hide the plug on me just so I'd have to go outside and play.
No, my dad encouraged it. That was our thing. We'd go rent a game once a week, and then obviously I got this. I went from Nintendo to Sega Genesis, not Super, which is.
Same. Oh my god! What a similar path.
So then
I did the same thing.
So then we would rent
Genesis.
Then we would rent Sonic drew me in. There was another game another game that I actually played in Portugal called Out of This World.
Okay.
Which was a PC game. That was my first experience for a PC game. It was like retroscoping graphics.
Oh shit!
And then I saw that it was coming out on the Genesis.
Right.
Like, oh my god, I gotta get a Genesis. That and Sonic kind of lured me down that path. And then they eventually released Out of This World on the SNES, anyways.
Right.
But yeah, so that was our thing. My dad we'd go once a week.
So cool.
We'd rent a game.
Love it.
And then there's a pizza place that's still in Cambridge, Capri Pizza. We would go there. He'd give me money for the jukebox, get a pizza, and that was like our weekly thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, man.
No, that's good because some Portuguese fathers are really there other than clothing and feeding them. You know what I mean?
No, my dad is
especially immigrant dads. Fuck.
I cannot. My dad's like I get my kind of like he's my dad's the type of guy where it's like Portuguese like there's always drama or esta pessoa não tá falando com esta pessoa.
Yeah, of course.
Always drama. Now my dad.
That's because families are so big.
I know, but my dad never he was just very very laid back guy. Never never wants to cause drama to everyone. Always just wants everyone to be happy and this and that. And yeah, man, great dad. I'm very fortunate to still have him in my life, and he's by far my number one supporter with the Comedy Portuguese thing. He asked for a cell phone just so I can make him an Instagram account so he can follow and keep up with my stuff. And no matter what I post, he's always the first one commenting. And then if you go back on my post, you can probably figure out who my dad is. So give the guy a follow. I don't know.
That's funny.
He'd probably love it. Probably appreciate it.
Just don't say anything bad, or he's probably going to come after you or something.
Yeah, don't give my poor dad. Hey, the guy, the guy's a saint. But yeah, I love my dad. He's my biggest supporter, and so he made childhood fun for sure.
No, that's awesome because it's funny. Like the Portuguese are either all in or all against. Like you know what I mean?
And because he
worked no between.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. And because he worked factory and I did sports in high school, there was a lot of games where he couldn't come see. But then, I remember the one basketball game that got postponed because of a snowstorm. They rescheduled it to a Friday, and then my dad worked four 10-hour shifts to make his 40-hour week. So he normally had Fridays off. Well, because it got rescheduled to a Friday, he was there because he could. And same thing with track and field. It got rescheduled. He could. It was a Friday. He was there. So he always made the effort, and I definitely appreciate that. So
no, of course, most definitely.
Especially being a father today myself, it's hard work for sure.
Oh, no kidding, my friend. Well, another thing we both have in common, pro wrestling.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Come on, man. What better way to end off the show than to talk about some fucking professional wrestling?
My very first live event ever was WrestleMania 18.
WrestleMania 18.
Hogan and The Rock at the Skydome.
I was there, my friend.
Yeah. I was way up. And I had my binoculars, but I was there. Yeah,
I had 100
you're lucky, man.
But I got free tickets because someone at my work couldn't go, and then he gave it to me.
My cousin Randy from Mississauga, he's like, yeah, I can get a ticket. Let's go. So I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me? Because that was my first live event, even before I started getting into I had been to growing up in high school, my buddy Stefan, when we finished high school, I got into graphic design. He always wanted to be a wrestler, so he got right on the independent scene. So I'd been to a lot of indie shows and met a lot of indie wrestlers, very popular today. But my first big WWE show that it ended up being WrestleMania 18. So it's oh man, it was almost is anything going to top this? And then I will say, for someone who was just at AEW Collision Door 2, that I'm not going to say it's hard because
Forbidden Door or Collision. Did
I say Collision?
You said Collision Door.
Sorry.
I think you combined
them both. Collision or full?
You're making a new pay-per-view now for
us. Yes, AEW Collision Door. No, Forbidden Door 2. There's too much wrestling. It's too much, especially if you're busy like me. But anyways, before I fucked up there royally, Forbidden Door 2. Man, that Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega match. That crowd. The hate on Punk, man, that crowd, dude. Just to be part of TV. You could, dude, in person. Let me tell you.
I could only imagine
that Okada Bryan match. That's everything from top to bottom, dude. And I took.
It was a great.
And I took my buddy Eric with me, who's not the biggest wrestling fan. Okay. But I'm like, hey man, I need someone to go with. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, man, fuck, let's do it, right? So we did, and man, that was a great. That's I've been to a lot of live events, especially in usually in London. Yeah. Recently that was a great show. So I love what AEW's doing, trying to do. Wembley's gonna the whole Wembley thing. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that, without even announcing a goddamn match. Wow. Look at that. It's great though, because again, if I can compare it to the 16-bit era, it's now you're forcing WWE to be better. because they've just been
which they have been better too.
But they've been phoning it in for how long, dude?
Oh my god, yeah, there was a good 5-6 year span.
Funny fact,
ever since they went 3 hours on Raw, I think they've been phoning
absolutely.
it in.
It's too much wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's like you pick and choose what you're gonna like. I'm enjoying AEW. I primarily watch SmackDown over Raw. If I'm working, I'll have it on in the background.
See, I'm the same way.
Low volume, and then something kind of
exact same. Yeah,
up
or if I hear something, rewind.
Because it's just too much. It's not like the Attitude Era where it's like, oh my god, what's going to happen next week?
That's what I think is missing.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Like, you know what I mean?
You're not
like the cliffhangers.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're older. We got more stuff going on in our lives. When you're young. And like in high school, it's just like it's school and what? School and wrestling.
Just wait though, because the contracts are starting to expire now. That the two companies are.
Yeah.
So now you're going to start seeing people jump. And Cody was the first one, but I'm sure there's going to be more both ways.
But you know what, dude? With my big thing is, and I don't know how much of the behind the scenes stuff you felt like Vince, man, like. Needs to go, and he did go, and then now he's back.
Did you hear the newest thing that they're doing now to counteract Vince from changing shit?
Yeah, they're announcing matches ahead of time so he doesn't change them. But like,
how fucked is that?
It's just tell him to fuck off, man.
Yeah, but you can't. It's Vince.
It's Vince. He looks so weird now, dude. That mustache.
He looks plastic. He looks like a wax figure.
Yeah, he looks like if you were to make a wax figure of Vince McMahon.
What if he's dead and that's a fucking AI?
Yeah, it's AI. Shane's wearing the Vince face over himself. I mean, like, fella.
Oh, can you imagine?
But no, dude, like, man, like, I feel bad for Triple H. It's like, man, like, and that's your father. It's your father-in-law. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but do you feel bad for Triple H? Look at what he landed on. Like, come on, man.
I don't.
Think about it. What are the odds of any wrestler?
I don't feel bad.
Getting
it's like the longer Vince is around, it's like the less I actually care about the WWE product, man. The Bloodline stuff's interesting. It was awesome with Sami Zayn, and a big fan of Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, like the Canadian guys. And like I still enjoy wrestling because I'm a wrestling fan. Now, the funny thing about that was like when I was a kid. And like during the golden era, I guess you could say, I wasn't a wrestling fan at all. My very first.
That's when I started.
My very first introduction to it. It was the Royal Rumble. Maybe that's why too. My very first introduction to it. It was, I think, Royal Rumble '93, the one where Undertaker came back after Yoko put him in. Coffin.
Yes.
So like they were all standing around, and you had Taker on the Titantron in the coffin with his eyes.
And then
he opened his eyes, and then obviously the matches went on. But that was like my first experience, and. We were at some Portuguese. I don't even know where we were. It was a Portuguese household, and their kids had ordered it or something, and it was on the TV, and they're losing their shit. Like, oh my god, this is awesome! And I'm there like, this is clearly fake.
Oh my god!
I had that mentality as a kid, and then obviously, like, so I had no interest in it as a kid. But then obviously the Attitude Era took off. And then my other buddy Eric,
wrestling was cool.
He was like, "Oh, dude, let's watch Raw. Let's watch Raw." I'm like, huh? I'm like, God, this is fake, right? I was that guy, right? Because I had no understanding of it. I was a judgmental kid.
Yeah,
not naive, judgmental.
Just like how most people.
And then we threw on an episode of Raw, and I remember that too. It's not like a historical moment, but it was when Chyna turned on DX and joined the corporation.
Shit.
She gave Triple H a low blow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, what's this?
Oh my god.
This is entertaining, right? So from there, But it's the stupidest thing. It's not like it's even a big moment.
But it was men's soap opera.
But yeah, it was, and that's my argument today. Like it is a It's the days of our lives for wrestling
especially when the old school guys come back. Yeah, like you get that little pop, and it's like, oh, that's nice to see.
Yeah. But some of them need to know, like, okay, man, like Undertaker, like it took a while there before he took the hit, and I mean that with all due respect, because obviously you want your memory of Undertaker to be like Undertaker HBK or something.
But I didn't mind him just being the WrestleMania act.
Yeah,
that was
yeah. But like it was certain things where it's like
But then he went to Saudi Arabia with Kane to fight a bald Shawn Michaels.
And I get, but you know how much Michael's got for that?
I know,
like 3.5 mil, dude.
I would do it too. Fuck.
Like, of course you're gonna do it. Of course, I get it. But you know what? Like that's what I mean. Where like with Vince coming and going and all the crap Vince has done, it's not that like I'm soured on WWE, but it's like, oh fuck. So like that's why it's so nice to have the alternative, and it's refreshing, and to seeing those guys succeed, and like MJF, like
fuck, right? What him and Adam Cole is doing right now. With that whole stupid
and who saw that coming, right? And some guys will be like, oh, this is cringe. It's entertaining.
Thank you.
It's you're gonna be. I don't get the whole like. oh, WWE versus AEW, and if you just be a fan of wrestling, appreciate what the guys are putting on in front of you, and that's it. Like, just be the wrestling fan. Like,
I totally agree.
It's such a toxic fan base. Just
like, if anyone tells me, like, go watch this match, like, some people be like, oh yeah, where was it taking place? I don't care.
So my buddy John that lives in London, shout out John Canton and TGR Wrestling. That's his job. He's a wrestling columnist, and he writes, like, he watches every show, he reviews it, and then, like, he knows I don't keep up with it as much because I'm busy and it's too much wrestling. Yeah. So, like, he'll go out of his way to tell me, like, yo, dude, you got to check out this match, and I'll be like, thanks, man. Yeah, and I'll go watch it. So,
but you're not like, oh, where was it? Was it on WWE or AEW? No, you'll watch it because you know it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's some people like that. They'll ask, you're like, oh, was it on an indie show? I don't watch indie shit. And I'm like, what?
I remember being on some. I remember being at a wrestling show, and I've been to so many now. I can't recall which one, but a wrestler came out, and it was a wrestler that the fan didn't like. Okay. This big obese guy, like 2 rows, like. But I remember looking at him, and he just had his back to the match all the time. Nope. Oh,
fuck, I hate those type of fans.
It's like, are you kidding me, man? Like,
I know.
Like, I can't. Like, come on, man. Like, you don't have. There's tons of wrestlers I don't like because I know what they're like in real life and actual people, right? But like,
or even characters you don't like, or like the characters meant for kids.
At the end of the day, they're putting on a show. Like, again, like the whole Benoit thing. Everyone knows what's happening there, but I think you could still go back and appreciate the matches. Because he did have a lot of great matches with other wrestlers. It's not fair to those wrestlers. Like Kurt Angle, man. Kurt Angle's my all-time fave.
Nice.
I got such a level of appreciation for just his how the fact that the whole thing sold me because I started watching like Attitude and then he kind of came along, so it was like perfect timing, right? And then it was just the fact that like, yo, this guy's actually a gold medalist, and then you start diving into him, and it's like, wow, this guy, he's the real deal. Oh, wow, he's funny. Oh, this guy's he's the package. And that's the appreciation I have for him. So, but like he had great matches with Benoit. A cage match on Raw where he did like the moonsault. Like,
that's right.
Exactly, man.
That's right.
But like, so like, that's where it's like, okay, even if you hate the wrestler, or even if they were a shit person in real life or did some shitty, horrible things in real life, like I think you could still go back and appreciate the art in the ring because they're at the end of the day they're still playing that character in the ring, right?
But and plus, that was early on in his career before the shitty stuff.
Before the shit went down.
So like I could understand if you celebrated stuff after he was.
No, absolutely not. What he did was awful. I'm never going to defend that. Any sane person wouldn't. But
even to go as far now, his poor son is getting the backlash. And he wanted to be a wrestler, and he can't even get his foot in the door.
My whole thing for that was just be the Pegasus Kid Jr., man. Remember Benoit before he got...
Yeah, I know, but still people know that.
People are going to... I know. It's not the kid.
And he looks too much like Benoit.
I know.
That's the thing,
hence the Pegasus thing, if he really wants to wrestle. But that's a whole other can of worms. Again, it just goes... It sucks. It's just one of those things where it's like, I think certain people can't remove the character from the actual person playing them. Yeah. And if you can't do that, then you can't go back and enjoy those matches. Or like Hogan. I could still go back and enjoy like a Hogan match, but people have their opinions. Without diving into it, people will.
No, I'm glad you brought this up
because people will always have their opinion on. Oh, he did this and this.
But I wanted to bring this up because Hogan's a prime example. Because I bring this up with the Cosby effect with comedians.
Exactly.
So now we could do this with the Hogan thing.
Sure.
Where it's like, this motherfucker's the one who brought me into wrestling. I fucking hate him for that. Yeah. Because now you know what type of person he is and whatever. Yeah, he apologized, and there's even people who's come to his aid. Fine, whatever.
But separate Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea. They're two different things.
I'm wearing an NWO shirt. Exactly. Hollywood Hogan was the greatest shit for me since sliced bread. Like, you know what I mean? Come on.
People need to, like,
it's so hard to celebrate him, though.
I know, but, like, even, like, online, I'm Ben Fate. But, like, sitting here with you, like, I'm not that guy. Right. It's not that I'm playing a character. I'm being myself. That's just my online alias, right? Yeah, of course. But, like, people need to... And then again, like, it's just... Yeah, some people can't separate. It's just, that's who they are, and that's it, right?
That's true. But
don't get me wrong. Like,
I don't blame him, though.
Like, Stone Cold, I'm convinced, was just an amplified version of what he's like already, right? He just times it by 10, right? Exactly. Certain wrestlers are just who they are. They just amplify that. And then some just play the character, right?
Or here's another perfect example.
Like John Cena's John Cena, man.
I think so, too.
You know what I mean?
I think so, too. Yeah. Just amped. But here's another example in Lex Luger. Like...
Yeah.
Like, you know, his body of work is pretty decent.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't really celebrate him because of everything that went down with the whole Elizabeth situation, right?
But you can go back and watch the
I know, but it doesn't
Yoko
feel
match.
like I
Sure.
want to, but it doesn't feel right because
it does don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it doesn't tarnish the experience of going back because it's always in the back of your mind.
That's
but
my problem.
It's just a matter of trying to turn that off and appreciate the art form that's in front of you and not. Like it is hard. I'm not.
But
gonna
like
say
you
it's
said,
not.
but then the flip side are the actual good guys
Sure.
who had these matches with these people.
Yeah, and
now don't get the props they deserve.
And Angle has his own podcast too, and I don't listen.
Yeah.
I listen when I can, but I remember he said in the one episode, like, yeah, it's a shame because like a good bulk of his best matches in WWE were with Benoit, and people, you know, obviously it's been erased. It's kind of. I mean, you can still find it if you want to watch it.
Well,
but they don't make it easy for you, and you know, it is a shame. But I mean,
It is.
It comes with again, like all it takes is if you're on the highway and someone gets in an accident and the whole highway slows down, now everyone's late to wherever they need to be. It only took one person to ruin that.
Yeah.
And in this case, it took one wrestler to like erase many classic matches with a lot of great wrestlers. And I'm a firm believer that's like with anything in life. It only takes one person to kind of change it for so many people. So
Yeah. Of course.
I'm just one person trying to make people laugh. But all it takes is one person to put out negative. You know what? That's what I'm saying. Like it's just it's an influential thing. Like it just takes that one person with the power of their words or whatever they say, to influence. It takes one to change the course for thousands, right?
And the ones I feel sorry for, because you never know for 100% who's right or who's wrong.
Exactly.
The ones that are actually innocent, and you have the other people tarnishing them.
Yeah.
But you go on that side because there's just so much proof.
And that's just it. And that's why I'm just like, man, like
shit.
Positive. Take it one day at a time. Try and be positive today because there's so much. The older I get, it's like, basically it's like, what's life going to throw at you and how are you going to handle it?
That's true.
Because I think the worst times for people, it's like, it's stuff that's out of their control. It's just, this happened in life. How are you going to deal with it? This happened in life. How are you going to deal with it? You can plan your life and how you think it's going to go all you want, but at the end of the day, life's going to just throw this at you and you'll have no control of it. How are you going to deal with that?
I know.
And what's the best way you're going to deal with that for your own mental health and for your own well-being? Like, because you could do everything right, and again, it'll take one person or one thing to derail that.
What I say is you could plan for the future, but don't worry about the future.
Exactly. Yeah, worrying's like a rocking chair. You're not going to go anywhere.
That's a good one. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And that's just our brain.
It'll give you something to do, but at the end of the day, you're not going anywhere.
It's so true.
I struggled with that for years. I'm just, now that I'm older, wiser, I guess you could say. I don't know. There's just, if shit's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's no sense in worrying. We'll deal with it when it happens. Deal with it the best way you can and take it day by day.
And there you go. Okay, how about this to end it off? Any wrestling parodies have you ever done or want to do?
Ooh.
Because there's some good ones out there, especially Ultimate Warrior shit.
I love
yelling in Portuguese.
You remember Jean Francis number 145 here?
I remember that.
So he did a lot of YouTube videos back in the day, and he's behind the Portuguese Faces account on Instagram.
Okay,
and he always does. He'll put a picture of the Portuguese Man of War.
Shit.
Which is just incredible for
course.
people that didn't know that. And he'll be like, hey, I'm the Portuguese Man of War. He does. I can't do it justice. I'm not going to try to. He does such a good job with it. But yeah, I thought about doing like a wrestling Portuguese Man of War, like the son of the Portuguese Man of War, or something like that, right? Because we got no representation, right? So
it's true. Other than Killer Kelly, yes, I always get her name.
I know, but who really knows that?
Because she's on Impact, unfortunately. But
exactly, I don't watch Impact because
I
don't have time. I've heard good things, but
well, she was in the WWE development system for a while, but
we definitely need more Portuguese representation. So I thought something like that would be funny. I don't know. There's so much you can do with it. I would just love to see a Portuguese wrestler come out to Batupé.
Oh God,
stomping his foot down the aisleway, dude.
Oh my God! Especially on Rampage because it's on Friday. Yeah. Then it would line up with you.
Oh my God! Yeah, then I could watch it. Yeah, for sure. But no, man. There's so much things you can do. Like it'd be fun just to like book a show with stupid obviously I'm always gonna just growing up I'm not gonna say growing up with wrestling because I didn't like it as a kid. But being a part of wrestling for like so long now. yeah, it'd be you're always fantasy booking and thinking of stuff like, oh, this would be way better, and this and that. And then you set yourself up for disappointment when it doesn't happen.
It's so true. It's so true. Right?
But yeah,
again, one day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time. Maybe Vince will leave tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe he'll shave his mustache the following day. Who knows?
Oh god.
Right?
Oh god. Anyways, well, Bang Fate again. Awesome name, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Like that's so original.
So that when I was a teenager, I wanted there was a period there where like I wanted to be a DJ. I'm like, if I'm going to be a DJ, what's my name going to be? And I just thought, oh, Ben Fate, because it's fate that if I become a DJ. But obviously, I just like doing music production in my spare time. That's my passion, right? I never turn your passion into a profession, I say, because then you'll never lose it as a passion, right? So that was originally supposed to be like, yeah, my DJ name, and then it sat on the back burner for years and started doing the comedy thing. I'm like, Ben Fake. There you go. There's my name.
Well, if you ever get a female partner, you got to name her Josh Dash.
Josh
Daz.
Oh, I joked with my wife because in real, for those that don't know, my real last name is Mello, and I joked with my wife because we have 3 boys. But the joke was, if we had a daughter, her name would have been Marsha Mello.
Fuck off, man. That is too funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, but
holy shit,
she was like, yeah, that's not happening.
Well, there's a reason why I got my friend.
Yeah, otherwise the poor Marshall would have got made fun of.
Well, plug your shit. Anything you want to promote, socials, projects, floor's all yours.
I mean, you go online and put Comedy Portuguese, you'll find me. I'm not here to promote anything. I appreciate the opportunity to just chill, talk, shoot the shit. Yeah, people want to find me, they know how to find me. And for the real followers out there that support my shit and have been supporting it for years, I appreciate it. It's why I do what I do. And yeah, I hope more people obviously will follow me or discover me through this podcast if you don't already know who I am. And I hope that I can just bring something positive to your life should you choose to stick around, I guess.
That's awesome. And for myself, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter under Finga Stylz. I guess on Threads you could find me. I'm also on Blue Sky Blue, whatever that fucking other app is. There's too many out there.
Too many, man.
Well, anyways, just Google Finga Stylz. You'll find me in the socials. So wherever Finga Stylz is there. And you can also email me your thoughts, suggestions, comments, anything you want to get off your chest at thepodcastapp@gmail.com. Please rewind to the top of the show. Support those fine sponsors because if it helps them out, most definitely helps me out. And please, most importantly, rate, subscribe, review on all major platforms. And if you are Portuguese and you want to listen to more Portuguese content, we've dropped a lot of names throughout the show. I have episodes with Mike Rita, with Dave Rodriguez, with T. Lops, all kinds of Portuguese content on there. Go back, check out those old episodes if you want so. All right, last question before I let you go, my friend.
Yeah.
With all the Portuguese entertainers, people in spotlight, doesn't matter, any form of anything.
All right.
Who would be the one Portuguese person out there that you would want to collab or work with before you call it a life or a career?
You know what? I would love to do something with the Portuguese kids eventually.
Okay.
I think I just need to, obviously, going back to like, because they do stuff they're stand up, and I know they look at me just primarily as like a meme account, right? I've done shows and I've done stuff on stage and like the parody songs and stuff, but I'd love to do something with them eventually. That'd be the dream come true. Go on a show with them or something. And Mike Rita. I've done stuff with Mike Rita before, but like all of us would be cool. That would obviously be awesome for me.
Of course.
Yeah, that's basically. That would be it. Obviously, I met George Freire recently again.
I was just going to say that's my bucket list.
And I hadn't seen.
Who doesn't know who George Freire is?
First time I saw George Freire, we were young, and when I was in.
How's he aged?
Great.
He still looks the same.
Well, he's older, but yeah, still looks great.
Good for him.
But still has that voice, right?
Really?
But
Good for
first
him.
time I saw him, I was just a kid, and we were in San Miguel.
Yeah.
And I saw him in Nordesh. They had a concert there, so hadn't seen him since I was a kid. Saw him, I think it was last year. He was in Cambridge. Went with my dad, and
that's awesome.
It'd be cool to be part of because Portuguese do comedy shows, and sometimes they'll have musical acts. So it would just be cool to be like, oh my god, I'm doing a show with
like a variety show.
Yeah. And now our second Pork Chops and comedy show. First one, Mike Rita was the headliner. Second one, we had the stand up comics, and then we had Mario Marino as a musical act at the end. So people stay for they're there for the stand up act, but then they can dance after. So I thought we'd do a nice little twist on that. But yeah, just working with any Portuguese musical talent, because I do it for fun and as a joke. But and then just I guess you could say that I'd love to go to the International Portuguese Music Awards that they have every year. They usually have it in like I think it's Fall River. That'd be cool, just because it's all Portuguese people showing their craft, right?
Exactly. But I wouldn't know who anybody is, though. I'm not in tune with today's sport.
Yeah.
I still listen to what was on the
Well,
Portuguese radio
in fairness, not many people would know who I am, right? Because they don't see my face that often.
Yeah. But you know what? That's the best.
Yeah. Well, still get your haters, but yeah, it is the best. But yeah, in terms of like goals, yeah, that'd be for sure top 3 Portuguese kids. George Freire.
Aim high, bro. Ronaldo.
Do
some work with Ronaldo. Be on a commercial with him or something.
You know what? Obviously, yeah, I didn't even think about that because I'm thinking inside the entertainment spectrum.
Well,
the social media influence of
he's
him,
the most known fucking Portuguese person on earth.
Highest followed person on Instagram. Wherever he goes, crazy. Like the teams get millions of extra followers in like days. It's insane,
right?
In terms of his reach, but yeah, no, obviously Ronaldo. Meu querido Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
We're never gonna, you know what? For all the shit, we're never gonna see another one like that. And if we do, I don't think
not in our lifetime.
No, absolutely not.
Well, but then that's what they said about Figo. That's what they said about Eusebio.
How great's Figo too, man? That's just.
But Ronaldo surpasses him in terms of on field.
Absolutely,
but off field, Figo's just
Ronaldo's
different.
Let's be real. He surpassed. No matter how you feel about the guy, love him, hate him, he's surpassed everyone. It's just he's so beyond soccer now. He's
above soccer.
Exactly. He's his own brand now. It's like I'm at a loss for words here because it's Ronaldo, right? But it's like, it goes beyond soccer. Like everyone knows who Ronaldo is, even if you're Portuguese and you don't watch soccer on some weird, like who Ronaldo is.
It's going to be
just like back in the day. Like my mom knew who Hulk Hogan was.
That was just
she didn't know anything.
In the wrestling,
she knew. That's my barometer of how do you determine the GOATs. Well, just ask people that know nothing about the sport. Because if you ask my mom,
Hulk Hogan, John Cena, that's who everyone knows.
My mom knew who Michael Jordan was.
I was just going to bring him up.
You know what I mean?
I see Ronaldo turning into like the CR7 brand being the next Jordan brand.
It already is.
Right? Just not here in North America, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. I guess you can say that.
Think about that, right? We're still hung up on our North American shit.
Absolutely.
So.
But I'm going to aim real high. Do something with Ronaldo.
There you go.
Hopefully he gives me a house or something. That'd be cool.
Ronaldo, if you're listening.
With a nice piscina.
Hit us up. I wouldn't mind talking to you too on an episode.
Come on. Oh, man. Yeah.
I'm sure he's listening.
All I want is
have your people call my people.
I don't ask for much, but Ronaldo, if you're listening, a huge casa with a nice piscina. Probably people are like, oh, you see the way he pronounced piscina.
Oh, God. Piscina.
Yeah. Roll that tongue, damn it.
Oh, my God. Anyways, talking about rolling. On that note, he's Big Pete. I'm Steve. This is the podcast. Peace.
Thanks for having me.